Good afternoon. As you know, that we are continuing from last Saturday discussion on aspiration prayer for Mahamudra, which is written by the third Kamapa Rangjung Dorje. And as you know, I would like to remind again that before we go into actual discussion, and I wanted to remind you to examine your intention. We are going to have this discussion from the listener side and from teacher's side for the benefit of all sentient beings. The space has no limit. Likewise, sentient beings in this space has no limit. So all these limitless sentient beings in this space are in samsara and they're experiencing tremendous suffering. And we wanted to engage in this practice of Dharma, including listening and teaching, contemplating in meditation, to liberate all of them from this suffering ocean of samsara and to lead them to a state of omniscient, state of enlightenment. So, and based on that, I will continue to try to explain from the last session. So the last time we covered shamatha meditation and partially vipassana meditation. So we are continue from that. So reading the translation. When looking at object, there are no object. They are seen as a mind. Looking at the mind, there's no mind. It is empty of nature. Looking at both dual dualism is liberated in its own place. May we realize the clear light, the mind's nature. So this is, as I mentioned last time, the Vipassana has two stanzas. So last time we talked about the first stanza, which is the actual explanation or actual aspiration to engage or to achieve the Vipassana meditation. So now the next part, the second part of Vipassana is more analysis or more discuss on wisdom. So when you look at the object, there's nothing but mind. So we, in this samsara, we see, we feel, we hear so many objects. That's our object of our faculties, our senses. Form, sound, smell, taste, and all those things. But if we contemplate on this, if we focus thoroughly on this object, there is no object but the subject, which is the mind. Only thing that you will discover and you will realize is that all those appearances, the seemingly arising, ceasing, remaining, functioning, cause, effect, and so on. But if you use this wisdom to analyze on those, when it say looking at those, doesn't mean just looking by the eyes, but looking using all those logics to see how they really are. And as it mentions earlier last time, all of those appearances are nothing but projection of mind, projection of a confusion stage of a mind, confusion aspect of mind create all these appearances. On a relative level, they appear as if they are truly exist. They are truly there. But if we use the wisdom with thorough wisdom, with actual meditation, with the full concentration, full focus, and you don't see, none of them are truly exist, inherently exist, because they are all temporary and arising from temporary cause and conditions. They are all interdependent, especially if you use these Madhyamika logics that were composed by Nagarjuna and his disciples. And I mentioned last time how things are not arising, not remaining, not seeing, and relatively interdependently, how they are not exist. And then if you use more logics of if something being born, or cause produce a result. And then there's a question, is that result is the same time of the cause or not? If this is the same time as cause, If you are exist during the cause, that means cause is not cause. Your result is not result because you are already existed there while during the cause. And then when the cause a result appears, whether still the cause is there, exists or not, there are many different logics. But if you apply these and then thoroughly focus with your meditation, you won't see everything. You will discover or you will realize all of those things are nothing but projection of your mind. That's why we have like a dream, like a dream, like an illusion, like a rainbow, like a moon, the reflection of a moon in water, like a mirage. They're nothing but all those examples. So then you might think, okay, that's fine if all those things are projection of mind, but then mind really has to exist. It has to exist because there is something that create or project all those appearances that we see, we hear, we feel, we taste, we smell, and so on. So that means the mind has to exist. But then when you look at actual mind, the mind is baseless. Not the emptiness, empty of itself. Mind itself is also not exist. Because the last verse, it says, the mind is free from both dualism, eternalism, and nihilism. So it is free from eternalism because nobody has seen actual mind. Even enlightened beings, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, mind has never seen that can describe shape and color and size and so on. But then it's also not nihilism because it is the source of all the samsara and enlightenment, and everything is arising, either good or bad, samsara, enlightenment, and everything. It's arising from our mind. So therefore it's not a nihilism. So the mind that is a source of all those appearances, the mind itself is also not exist. It is empty. So then if you look both subject and object, which is the mind that is the subject, and then the appearances are the object. When you look at the both, if you look in both with your, profound and using profound logics, with the meditation, the both spontaneously dissolve it within it. Ninzing means the clinging of others and clinging of self. The clinging of others that is coming from the clinging or thinking or perceiving the outer world or appearances as exist. And then clinging that is coming from self, which is, perceiving the self that is composed by 5 aggregates. Perceiving that is the real self truly exists. But if you look in these ways into those, subject and object, this spontaneously dissolved or spontaneously disappeared, because none of them truly exist. They are empty. So, what you have to understand is that understanding the appearances as projection of mind and understanding mind as empty is not something that we can understand or we can apply in our life right away. So here those are talking about when you become a genuine practitioner of Mahamudra. These are the stages that we're supposed to go through, and these are the challenges or steps that we have to face on our journey. On the other hand, these are the progress, When you look at outer object with those proper understanding of how those appearances are not exist, how they are emptiness, and how they are projection of mind, how they are interdependent and so on. And also when we look at the mind, that is the source of all these appearances, are also empty. And we have to have a proper training, proper teaching, proper understanding. Then when we apply our meditation, we will see, we will understand. But if we are just a beginner who has, not enough study, not enough contemplating, not enough meditation, cannot expect what it said here. This is aspiration prayer, Mahamudra Aspiration Prayer. So if you look in the last verse, wasa simche nelo to prasho. What's here? May we realize the clear light, the mind's nature, the clear lights, mind's nature. In order to understand, if you are in a stage where you understand the nature of mind, then we are enlightened. We already achieve enlightenment, but we are not there yet. So that's why it is not saying that you have to expect to see every projection is confusion of mind and mind is empty. We can intellectually understand during the process of education, process of learning. But in order to see in our real life, we have to do practice. It says realize the nature of mind. Realizing nature of mind is actually achieve enlightenment. Last time I used the Milarepa's quote. He says that when you recognize mind's nature, then you are enlightened. There's no enlightenment that you have to find somewhere else. Enlightenment means recognition of mind itself. And at the same time, and samsara, it's also coming from the mind, which means not realizing nature of mind is a samsara. So when it says maybe you realize the nature of mind, it means maybe become a Buddha. So when we become Buddha, what do we have to have? We have to understand. We will be in a stage where we can, apply all those points into our life. For example, when you look at other appearances, form, sound, smell, taste, form through your eyes, sound through your ear, smell through your nose, taste through your tongue, and feeling through your body. With the proper meditation, deep contemplation, deep concentration, samadhi, profound vipassana, shamatha meditation. And then you will see everything is like an illusion. Everything is like a dream, like a rainbow, reflection of a moon in water, and your image in a mirror, So then you will turn around, you look into the mind, but mind is also nothing but empty. Yet it's not an empty, dark, finished, empty, but it's clarity that functions everything. That is, its mind is like an object. It's like a mirror, mirror that can appears any object into that mirror. For example, water. Clear water. When you look in the clear water, if the moon comes in the sky, the reflection of moon will be in the water. If the cloud comes, the reflection of cloud will be in the water. If aeroplane flies us over, it appears, the projection appears in the water. When sun rises, the reflection of the sun in the water. The water itself is completely clear that can appear anything in it. It can appear beautiful, precious object in it. When you put a mirror here, if you put a diamond in front of the mirror, exact same diamond will appear in the mirror. If you put a shed in front of the mirror, then shed will appear. Whatever statue, if you put a Buddha statue, exactly statue will appear. If you put a piece of rock, it will appear. So the mirror has to be clean and clear. What appears in it, it depends on what object you use. So mind is like that. It can appear everything from the top of the enlightenment to the bottom of the samsara. It can appear any and every phenomena into our mind.